Hello. So some of you may have seen that Xenonauts 2 has reached its funding. That was back in June. So I thought I might visit the first game real quick. Haven't touched it in a little while. Let's go for Veteran. Only because I have beaten the game before. But like I said, I haven't touched it in, well, let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, I did beat that back in 14. Is this game that old? Doesn't feel that old. Anyway, this game is a spiritual successor-ish, or XCOM inspired. Let's go ahead and set up our base. I do want to get as many funding nations as I can in this circle. I usually start somewhere in either North Africa or the Middle East, just to try and cover as much land mass as I can. So the game takes place in the mid-late Cold War, after an alien incursion. Again, this is very much in the vein of XCOM. Gameplay-wise, I would say it falls fairly evenly in between the original game, it was 1994, I think 1994, and then the newer ones. I'm going to do some very quick base customization because the starting base is not quite up to snuff. Hi, thank you, Steam. Might as well hire some extra troops as well. I'm guaranteed to lose a few in the few initial outings. As you can see, I can sort troops by their starting stats. Xenonauts makes a whole lot of, I wouldn't necessarily call them concessions, but acknowledgements in terms of gameplay, just to reduce the amount of micromanaging that you really have to do and to ease the overall transition, I guess, just to bring the XCOM experience a little more into the 21st century. If you really liked the original XCOM, and honestly, it's still fun. Again, it ages a little more with each passing year, both literally and figuratively, obviously, but it is still playable. There is also Open XCOM. If you guys have seen that, I really recommend just checking out the website if you're interested. That removes a lot of the headache that the original XCOM was saddled with due to oversights and software limitations of 1994. They'll let you bring more than 80 items on a landing craft, for example. And there's a whole bunch of mods for it too. Anything from new alien races and aircraft to new weapons, and even mods that completely revamp the gameplay. I've messed around with a few of them. Didn't really go for anything resembling a total conversion or what have you. Xenonauts, again, really does take out a lot of that micromanagement. No longer do you have to buy individual magazines or rockets for individual soldiers and weapons. You've got an entire logistics branch now that'll do that for you. But you can still customize to your liking, like I'm doing here. This person has decent strength and accuracy, so we're going to make you that rocket launcher guy, or woman. And let's see, I want to throw some extra rockets into the inventory of various other guys here on this dropship. Having only 4 or 5 rockets available to you is really kind of limiting. It sounds like that's a lot, but you'll quickly find out that's not the case. And this person is overloaded. I don't like having a whole bunch of riflemen in my squad. The game stresses that the riflemen, just a basic M16 or maybe later different types of rifles, is the fundamental core of the squad. It's the jack of all trades, the most versatile. But it also means it doesn't excel at anything, and I'd rather have a little more firepower and specialty equipment rather than a whole bunch of riflemen. Half the time the M16 guys, or the M16, when it does successfully land a hit, it feels like, you shoot an alien 3 times and you just draw their fire. Later rifles, the story kind of changes, and it becomes a little more worthwhile having a versatile... You can't carry that, huh? Alright. Overloaded a bit. It makes it more worthwhile having a corps of riflemen. I'm going to do my best to keep my starting soldiers alive. Their starting stats tend to be a little higher than newbies, the guys you recruit directly. Although they can grow, so it's not like if you lose all of your starting soldiers, you're totally screwed. Unless you lose them all at once, and then in that case, yeah, you're pretty screwed. Right off the bat, we've got our first UFO. Go ahead and launch interception. Using our Condors, which is like this game's F-16. I think it actually says in the flavor text it's a heavily modified and customized F-16. Got another UFO. I can't be certain. I think they're probably both scouts. And that other one disappeared off radar. I don't like it when that happens. Here's another example. Auto-resolve of reducing micromanaging. I really enjoy that auto-resolve. There is actual air-to-air combat you can do in the game. I don't really enjoy it too much. It can be a little repetitive. It's not exactly entertaining. So I use the auto-resolve feature whenever I can. If you guys really want to read the flavor text, I'll leave it up just for a little bit so you can hit space or pause the video, whatever. Some of it's kind of interesting. The flavor text for the scientist, that guy I was just looking at there, can be amusing at times, but you're not missing out on too much if you breeze past it. He's kind of pretentious. They really play up the condescending egghead stereotype with that guy. Wow. Not a whole lot of success in shooting these guys down. So this game is still 2D, sprite-based. Again, I really think that just putting it in the middle between the new XCOM and the original is a good description. The sequel, Xenonauts 2, there's some video game footage, live footage on YouTube already. That is 3D, so you can do things like pan the camera around, rotate, zoom in, zoom out, real easy. and I'm rather excited for that. I do enjoy this one. I don't really know what their price point is going to be upon release, but hopefully something around the same as this one, Xenonauts. I paid, well, I can't remember. I want to say 40, but I don't think that's quite right. Right now I think it's about 25, which isn't, it's not great, not terrible. Excuse me. I try not to spend too much time looking to fully optimize each individual soldier's kit, you know, down to stuffing them full as many magazines as they can possibly carry, or making sure they've got a good spread of different types of grenades. There is a decent amount of starting equipment you can play around with, but I stick to the basics for the most part. Assault rifle, machine gun, sniper, and rocket launcher. Let's go ahead now and hire a few more scientists. I think we got room for 5? Yeah, okay. Yep, lab space, that's all I have. Cool. We'll get these guys going once they come in. I will probably be helping the research of the high-speed, the upgraded interceptor along. Don't need any engineers right now, there's nothing to build. That'll change shortly. Alright. All of you, get me that new plane. Thank you, that was fast. So the high-speed interceptor is, again, it's like an upgraded MiG. We can't, unfortunately, just buy them off the market. We have to build them. So now, let's get one of these going. And then we'll buy 5 more engineers and put them on that when they come in. The basic interceptor, the Condor, the new F-16, it's decent starting out, but it gets outclassed very quickly. It's rather short range and doesn't carry a whole lot of firepower, unfortunately. I think that triangle, that other UFO, is that UFO 4? I think that's a fighter, which could give us a little bit of trouble. Okay, cool, we actually shot that one down over land, so I think we'll be able to... Wait a minute, we're missing a noun here. Covered from the... Okay, interesting. Has that always been like that? I haven't modded this. I wonder if I just never noticed that. That must have been a fighter. That other one I shot down because we weren't able to attack it. This one, the 4th one we hit, we can actually go and assault as a ground combat portion of the game. I guess the game's internal explanation for that other one is like it's either maybe too small or it's not really, it's like unmanned or something like that, that fighter. So you just get some miscellaneous resources and supplies from shooting those down. And I don't know if you still can collect it if you shoot them down over the ocean. I'm guessing not. I can't quite remember. So here is the other half of the game. Again, very much like XCOM, you've got essentially 2 games in one. You've got that geoscape, the global management portion, and then you've got this, the tactical down in the mud, take the fight to the aliens face to face part of the game. And instead of the newer XCOM reboots, oh, there's a guy right there looking at us. That is not good. And, well, let's see. Try again. These lizard guys. They sure showed that desk. These lizard guys have a decent amount of hit points from what I remember. They can heal too. Yeah. I think if you don't kill them, they slowly start to regenerate their... Really? Their lost health. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the new XCOM does, like you can move twice, you know, essentially during each turn. For each of your soldiers, they can do one move and take one shot. Speaking of, nice shot. Or they can do like a dash that uses up both of their moves for that turn. Xenonauts is much more like the original XCOM in that you're allotted so many turn units per turn per soldier, and each action takes up a certain amount of time units. I want to throw a smoke grenade here, but I'm having a little bit of interface issues. How do I do this? It's an old trick I learned from the original XCOM. You just throw a smoke grenade at the ramp and give your guys some cover. There we go, drag and drop. Concealment, I guess I should say. You're not actually going to stop any. You're out of time. Huh, yep, you can't do that. You're not going to stop any plasma bolts or anything. But it does make your soldiers harder to hit. It can be a real lifesaver, especially if you land right down in the middle of a group of aliens. Like we appear to have. Maybe we should have set down a little further out of town? I need to take care of that guy. I don't like him being right there. I really hope he doesn't have a grenade. Yes! Go get him, Tiger. Take him out. You've got to be kidding. I was in smoke. I was in smoke. Maybe the smoke... Maybe some species can see through the smoke or something. I don't know. I feel like that was not particularly fair. This is bad. What can I do? Well, that's not helping. Let's get your rifle out of your backpack. Okay. So I'm cycling through aim modes there when you see that icon change when it's hovering over an alien. Again, like the original XCOM, you can choose how much time you want to spend aiming. Really? Okay, game. Enough. I see how it's gonna be. Yeah, he's healing. You can see that green number pop up. Oh, there's another one there. Yeah, you better run. Conundrum. Let's have you reload, because I know that guy's gonna come back. Go for it. Hey, nice. You hit something. You did your job. I'm gonna try and get everyone to cover as quickly as I can. Cover is extremely important in this game, especially starting out, where your guys really don't have any protection, any armor. Okay, he's still over there. Can you hit him? No. Now? No. Now. Still no. Okay. You, please. Thank you. Okay, so that other one is right over there. You had better not miss this time. Right about here? Yeah, right about here. And that guy is still alive. Hey, good job. Proud of you. So, Xenonauts is difficult, but it's not punishingly difficult. I had, I think, about 3 or 4 failed missions or failed games before I actually beat the game. So how Xenonauts works is the organization that Xenonauts is this large kind of multinational independently funded organization set up to combat the alien menace. And you draw funding from a whole bunch of different nations. If you don't perform very well, like you consistently, say, allow China to have aliens just have free reign of China's airspace and land and cause all sorts of terror, then China is very quickly going to decide that it is not worth the investment, since you're honestly not doing them any favors, and withdraw their funding. Have too many nations do that, have your funding drop so low that you can't continue to operate, and it's game over. I guess you can't launch some sort of, worldwide GoFundMe. I don't know why. I mean, I'd throw a few bucks towards Save the Human Race GoFundMe if I thought it stood any chance of all of defeating the aliens. Let's see. Using these cars as cover makes me a little nervous. Pretty sure they explode once they take enough damage, just like the cars in the new XCOM games. I am betting that the crashed UFO is actually in, I guess what you could say, the northwest corner of the map here. I don't know why, but the game seems to have a fondness for putting the aliens there. It doesn't always happen, but it's pretty common. So now we just have to fan out a little bit and find the UFO. I heard a door open. It's one of the UFO ship doors. Okay, there's just a catwalk up there. I am pretty sure this is the edge of the map up here, just past this little power station. Alright, there's really only one more place it could be. Yeah, thought so. It's right there. Alright. Now comes the tricky part. Traditionally, breaching and assaulting the UFO is where I really lose most of my guys. The aliens seem to have a preference for staying inside. Honestly, I probably would too if I were them. Which means you have to go in and ferret them out. And there are a whole lot of funnels and all sorts of real nasty ambush points inside the UFO. Lots of very tight corridors and choke points where you can only send one guy down at a time. They have to move single file. The larger ones especially, from what I remember. The smaller ones aren't too bad. You a little confused there? One of the other possible equipment options that I don't frequently use is the shield, the ballistic shield. I played with it a little bit. It doesn't seem to be able to withstand a whole lot of punishment. 3, 4 shots seems from even a light plasma weapon from the aliens will just crumple that thing to dust. And then because the shield, you need a hand obviously to hang on to it, you're limited to a one-handed weapon for that soldier, you know, a sidearm. So of course, once the inevitable happens and that shield gets destroyed, suddenly your soldier is sitting there out in the open with nothing but his little Beretta to protect him. That I probably should have seen coming. That also I might have been able to see coming. Starting out, your troops are not crack shots by any means. Case in point. Which is odd because I am pretty sure I remember some sort of blurb, some sort of flavor text within the game itself saying that the Xenonauts, the organization, draws from the best soldiers each individual nation has to offer. Something tells me they're lying. They're sending like the troops with the disciplinary problems or guys that just don't get along well with the rest of the unit. Please. Nice. He's still up though. What about you? Nope. It was worth a shot. So once we clear this guy out, we'll just go in, and I think this uniform only has one room. Oh, that was the last guy. Usually they don't charge out like that. That was interesting. Well, with that mission successful, aside from that single casualty, we will end this here. Thanks for watching, guys.